The unfolding of the real love story. Moments of light with Toro the Decoder. As far as I can remember, I fell in love with so many things. Starting with my parents, my two older brothers, many family members, the town I grew up in, my toys, my friends, and the endless fantasy adventures that I played out with my toys or with my friends on the street. I loved to join my father, my mother, and two brothers in experiencing many adventures. I loved it all. At the age of 6, I fell in love with track and field and judo, but it was 2 years later when I started to experience some pain in my heart when my mother got sick, and when I saw my brothers breaking up with their girlfriends because I had also fallen in love with them. It seemingly was the start of experiencing a broken heart, and that heart would be broken many times, in the same way I left women in my life behind with a broken heart. I fell in love with many different kinds of music, as each one of my family members enjoyed a different one, and of course hearing my oldest brother playing the piano, and me going with my middle brother, who was a guitar player, to the performances with his band. At the age of 16, I became a disc jockey, and with some friends we created a discotheque. I fell in love with creating so many things that were seemingly ahead of its time, and at the same time, I started to fall in love with almost every girl I saw, but as well with alcoholic drinks and cigarettes. I loved each puff and drink, and that in combination with going to bars and discotheques. I could go on and was disappointed when the night was over, and then putting my running shoes on and running until the toxins were out of the body. This, of course, took its toll on the physical body, and the bill came when I was 27 years of age. The pleasure, me not seeing this as abuse to the body, and at the same time loving the life of being an athlete, entering a sports college, and after having my own tennis schools, enjoying each moment, each hit with the ball, sometimes starting at 6 in the morning and coming from the court at night, was too much for the physical body. I had a natural love for all of it, and especially women that came into and left my life. However, through being an athlete and then standing on the tennis court for so many hours, I learned to concentrate and focus, which had been hard for me attending the normal school hours before that time. And this was the early preparation of something else which I needed later in my life in regards to the unfolding of the real love story. I was driven by love and loved everybody and everything, especially when traveling came into the game of life, but only much later in my life realizing that I was looking for a love that I could enjoy permanently, instead of jumping from one into the next in all departments and areas of life. I got a glimpse of this when I turned 30 years of age, and this love was deeper than all the love I had experienced up till that moment. This was the biggest gift I received up till that time, but couldn't hold on to it until a teacher came into my life and explaining me about an eternal love that comes through me, from the level of the soul within that is connected to the eternal source of life and love. This love was to be experienced constantly when I, the one with a body and name, would be out of the way. It was similar with experiencing the zone being an athlete, but this love I could have all the time as it was the essence within me and all around me. Lucky I was that this experience came at the same time when the abusive love in regards to smoking, drinking, and abusing food, and that connected to the harming of animals, completely left me. One kind of love killed the other kinds of love. I was introduced to a new lifestyle and understanding of life and a meditation technique to be concentrated and focused to get me out of the way in order to enter that real love zone. Each time being around my teacher, I experienced this love, and he always encouraging to keep on going in order to experience this one day all the time. With this, a new life adventure unfolded itself, and in which I learned to love and respect individuals that were very challenging and difficult in my eyes. This was the beginning of learning to love no matter what, and to respect these individuals that all helped in the molding of me, becoming a new person. This was the start of learning to accept everything and everybody, reflecting all back to myself and dealing with it all in the best way possible. This accepting was the core of love and God, the divine, accepting and loving all and everyone without any judgment. These were glimpses of unconditional love, also coming from being around my children when they were very young. As long as I didn't 100% accept it where I was, what I was, and how everything and everybody was, and still had an expectation, desire, or a but connected, I couldn't experience that eternal love constantly coming through me, and was thus creating an obstacle, an interference, and that again would manifest itself mentally, emotionally, and physically as signs, symptoms, and disease. This was the divine, using the body and my life situations, guiding me in the right direction. All this was connected to the unfolding of the real love story, a love and story that I was trying to have on a physical level, but in which everything is created with opposites, constantly changing and bound to time. This was the unfolding of an eternal love, the love between the soul and God, and I was invited to be part of this story, a story that ends with, and they lived happily ever after. This was the gift and the reflection of the music of the heavens, an eternal love I experienced coming through me, the core and center and heart of my being, when accepting and loving it all for what it was. This all again was connected to my life story, and for sure being born with a leaking heart, likewise my mother, my oldest brother, and my daughter. But a journey from me going through its own healing process, and me learning to love it all. To heal from the restrictions of a physical heart, created with opposites and the memories connected to all the hardening, being hard on myself, others, and the world, and losing heart, the feelings of a broken heart, the caving in and imprisonment of the heart, and to experience the eternal heart of acceptance, love, and service, without any expectations. I am here to heal the heart, here to accept and not expect, here to be here, not to do, but to let all come through.